Hi, Maggie here, and as a vocal coach, it is my privilege and honor to work with passionate singers just like yourself. If you love to sing, but maybe believe that you're not good enough yet, that you can't really learn to sing those high or low notes without hoarseness, or maybe you struggle with insecurities, well, then this podcast is for you. During our time here together, you'll get tips, tricks, and motivation to grow as a singer, develop your voice, and make your big singing dreams come true. So, ready to take your singing to the next level? Let's go. Hello, and welcome to this very first episode of the Singing Insiders podcast. I am so excited to be here, and I want to thank you for tuning in into this episode. And so in this episode, I want to talk about what you will get from this podcast and how you can get the most out of it. It's so important that when you consume content, when you're learning new things, that you can actually take something with you. There is so much information online and on the internet where you don't really learn anything new. So it's very important for me to show you how you can get the most out of this time we have together. So let's start with the why. Why this podcast? Well, if you don't know me, I'm a singer. I'm from Belgium. I speak Dutch and French, and as you can hear, a little bit of English. I'm learning Spanish. But anyway, I have been a vocal coach. I've been helping singers develop their voice, gaining confidence when singing for, I think it's it's since 2014. So it's almost, 10 years. So 9 years now, because it's 2023 now. So anyway, for these 9 years, I've been passionate about teaching people to sing. But not only teaching them to sing, because, singing is so much more than just singing. If you're a singer, then you know that singing is a way of being. And yes, it's about training your voice, but it's also an inner game, a mental game, right? Learning to let go of what other people think, learning to let go of judgments, taking steps, big steps outside of your comfort zone and stretch those boundaries so that you can become the best version of yourself. Daring to show you for who you are, show your true colors. And it's a journey of overcoming the most difficult obstacles and also experiencing the most beautiful results, because you experience freedom to be yourself, freedom to show and share your passion for singing with the world. So if you're a singer, then you know what I mean, right? And so I started vocal coaching. Well, I started actually teaching singing, which was, for me, the big difference between coaching and singing is that, coaching and teaching, is that teaching mostly tells you what to do, and coaching helps you to put that what in practice, right? So as a coach, yes, you need to learn some techniques, and I'm going to help you with that. And we're going to go through different vocal techniques on this podcast together. It's also important for me to help you put those techniques into practice. And also, if you have any obstacles coming up, like tension, like insecurities, like doubts, like that inner critic voice in your head, that you get the support you need with that. And that I see that as my role to help you overcome these obstacles. So that for me is the difference between teaching and coaching. Anyway, I was telling my story, right? And so I started teaching, and then I went into coaching a few years ago. And the point that I want to make is this. I found that coaching singers one-on-one is amazing, obviously, because you get to work together. But there is so much, there's so many more people that I want to reach, that I want to help, that I want to support throughout their singing journey. So that's where I started doing online courses, online coaching, group coaching programs, memberships. All of that exists in Dutch. So if you're one of my Dutch listeners, we have the Zangles met Maggie podcast, which is a Dutch podcast. And then I realized, people speaking Dutch are amazing. And English is actually, a language that more people understand. And I had that feeling that I had to go to English, the English side. And I procrastinated with that because it's scary, the whole world can understand you when you're speaking English. And so I finally took that step, and this is the result, this podcast. And with this podcast, I want to share that with you, the joy that singing can bring you, the techniques that you need to get there, but most importantly also the support. Lots of singers believe that singing is something like a talent. It's a gift that you have, that you're born with. And I'm here to tell you that I wasn't born with that gift or with that talent. I actually had to learn a lot. My vocal skills were not where they are now. And there's many singers like that. And it's not about talent or being gifted. It's actually about the right vocal training. And that is the most important message that I want to get across. So if you love to sing, if you're here, if you're listening to this episode, something tells me that you love to sing. But maybe you're thinking that you're not good enough to sing in front of other people. Maybe you're singing in the shower or in the car, which is so fun, by the way. But sharing that passion for singing with other people, I think, is one of the most important things that we do as singers. If that's on a stage or in a choir with other singers, or maybe it's in a band, whatever that might look like for you, it's sharing that passion for singing with others that give us the fulfillment as a singer. And I wanna share this whole message on this podcast. Next to the vocal techniques, it's about the right training. It's not about the talent or the gift. See, if I look back at my development as a singer when I was in university, for example, we had 2 big groups in our class. So I call them the talented singers. Those were the singers that did everything right from the get-go, like as if they didn't have to practice anything and they just did it, right? We're really jealous of them. And then there were like the singers, like I was part of that group, and that's what I call the trained singers. I had the feeling that I had to practice really, really hard in order to get some results that other singers just got like that, right? Without doing anything. And so I realized, first of all, I was really jealous in the beginning because I thought, oh my God, I have to work so many hours. I have to sing all of those scales. I have to sing all of those vocal exercises, and they can just do it without practicing. And so I was really frustrated. But, big but here, I was also a few years, later in my development, I realized that because I was training my voice, because I was doing all those singing exercises, I actually moved forward. And I actually even started to surpass those talented singers that never had to practice or never had the discipline to practice. And they kind of plateaued their growth. They kind of stayed where they were in the beginning, while the trained singers in my class, and me included, we started to surpass them. We didn't have as much talent as they had, but we did have the determination, we did have the consistency, and we did have the commitment. And that is what I call the trained singer. And so lots of people think, oh no, you need the talent, you need the gift. And actually, the opposite is true. Yes, you could have some talent. There's one quote that one of my teachers gave to me, and he said, it's 10% talent and 90% practice. And that is what I want to give you with this podcast. Let's practice together. Let's train your voice together. Let's get you into that trained singer mentality. Yes, you could be talented, which is great. Take that with you. And if you're not, that's fine too. As long as you're committed, motivated, passionate about singing, that's all you need. And I'm here for the exercises, the vocal techniques, all of the singing, like tools and tips and tricks. I'm going to give that to you. That's my intention to give it to you in this podcast. Sometimes that will be in a form of an actual vocal exercise. Sometimes we're going to be singing on this podcast. Sometimes we'll be talking about things. We could be talking about that inner work that needs attention as well. Because if you're scared to sing on stage, you could be the greatest singer of all, but if you're still holding back because there's some fears that are holding you back, then you can be the greatest singer of the world, but still not fulfill those big singing dreams. So we have to look at those fears, right? We have to look at that inner work. We have to look at the vocal techniques. We have to be creative as singers, and we need to be able to connect. And those 4 elements, those are the 4 pillars of my Sing Yourself to Freedom formula, which is a formula on which I base everything that I do. We have mindset, which is that inner work, right? Finding that inner freedom, not being scared of anyone else, not being scared of being judged, not being, not listening to our inner critic too much, or being able to recognize that inner critic and knowing what to do with it. That's the first pillar, mindset. Then we have vocal technique. That's where we're gonna look for vocal freedom. So exercises to sing higher, to sing more powerfully, to have that range that maybe you're looking for, right? High notes, low notes, but all the notes in between as well. Power, dynamics, everything you need to have a voice that sounds like you want it to sound. That's that second pillar, vocal technique. Then we have creativity. As a singer, we need to sing a song in our own unique and authentic way. And that's what we're going to be looking in that creative pillar. And then we have connection, which is the last pillar. And connection, that's how you're sharing your passion for singing with the world. And again, it might be on a stage, it might be in a local cafe, it might be in a jam night, or it might be in a senior home. It might be for someone's birthday that you're singing a little happy birthday message. However you make that connection when singing, we need to look at things like presence, stage presence, microphone technique, telling your story, how to incorporate emotions. There's so much to discover there. And these 4 pillars are also the foundations of the Singing Insiders membership, which is a membership that I run for passionate singers just like yourself. So this is everything, like it's so big. So this podcast is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to future episodes. Again, you can expect long episodes. You can expect short episodes. You can expect some guest experts coming in. You can expect some, singers that I work with that share their stories. You can expect there's so much more to expect, I don't even know what it's going to look like because I'm just so excited about it. Now, if you have any ideas for this podcast, if you have any questions about singing, please send me a message. Go to Instagram. My name is Maggie, MAGGIE _Gelin, GELIN, or send me an email to info@singinginsiders.com and ask me your questions, because who knows, maybe I can make a future episode out of that. And it gives us a chance to connect. So I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so that is our first episode of the Singing Insiders podcast. I am so excited and happy to see you again very soon next week. Bye. I'm giving you a virtual high five. Wow, that was amazing. Was it just me, or did that go by way too fast? Now, if you don't want to stop here and you want more singing tips, tricks, and exercises, head on over to www.singinginsiders.com. Also, if you liked and valued this episode, be sure to subscribe to this show, share it with your friends, and leave a review so that we can reach even more singers and spread the power of singing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your enthusiasm and support. And I look forward to see you here again soon. Bye.